So I almost felt a little triggered. Caught myself like almost arguing back and forth in my head. Um, it wasn't necessarily with myself, but it was all done in my head. I was bobbing my head and everything because there was this situation a couple years ago, back when, because I'm just thinking about that this situation with the man who had the walking stick. He was a legally blind man. He had a walking stick, and one cop admitted to being a tyrant and stuff like that, and they went on and just was on a, like, seemed like a power trip, and bothered with him, handcuffed him, detained him, all that stuff, illegally arrested people and this, that, and the third. And of course it takes me back to when they did similar to me when I went up to that jailhouse, and just another incident before that. But hold on for a second, I have to do something real quick. So yeah, it was the legally blind man that detained him, all that, whatever. I don't know what state, what town it happened at. I can't remember right now. Um, and and yeah, so then when I got detained and all that, I'm gonna say even detaining me was not necessary as well, because I was leaving out of the place. I was just saying forget it, and I was going to go home, be back with my kids and stuff. But I'm gonna just say it might would have been necessarily if you can deem it as disorderly conduct. Do I feel like disorderly conduct is it's the way that you're conducting yourself in the public and stuff like that. People don't want to see it. Should should you be detained for expressing yourself? Again, it goes back to how I allow my kids to express themselves, and should I go and bust them upside the head, detain them, this, that, and the third, because they're so gotta think about that part. Is that even an urgent matter or anything like that? Are you are they even supposed to be able to do that? Even though it's maybe a written like law or whatever, but are they supposed to be able to do that? Um, or again, are you on a power trip? Oh, I'm about to make an example out of this one and this, that, and the third, and it's like, okay. But anyway, but definitely the arrest. I don't believe, especially the illegal search and seizure of my property, and then the just being arrested. Period. For that, I mean, I don't even know if you barely supposed to be detained for disorderly conduct. Should you be arrested for that? And then if so, then what's the measure? How do you measure? And this, that, and the third. How do you decide? So anyway, that whole thing. So I almost got triggered, and then not even just that one. It was going back to, I guess, and I'm just gonna keep it real. Um, um, it was oftentimes where, oh, what's his name would tell me. I'm gonna say it feels like oftentimes. It was some of the times, but it was probably starting to lean more towards often, especially if he wanted to just, what I'm saying, if you want to do something in peace, where I don't want this person hounding me because I know I'm doing something I got no business doing, but I'm gonna do it anyway. I don't want them standing at me. There was times when he would say, "Stop messaging me" and stuff like that. And you should respect somebody and not bother them. But just as quick as he would say that, he would be back over here ringing my doorbell like a maniac and all types of stuff. So it was like his actions was he was still coming towards me. His mouth was saying, "Leave me alone," or let me. Basically, again, like I said, just let me. What is it? Whether it was cheat, eat, or in peace, whatever it is, because I was just always constantly talking to him, and yes, trying to be close to him, remain close to him. I didn't feel like that was a crime. I didn't feel like I was doing anything wrong. I didn't have bad intentions for reaching out to him. Then he started to take it, or at least he expressed to my so-called dad's maybe girlfriend, wife, whatever, that, oh well, she's messaging me because she thinks she can control me as far as if I mess with somebody else. Then that was so brand. It was a thought, but it was so new to me that it came out of him but it came out to somebody else. And he was like, yeah, if I want to talk to somebody else or something like that, then I will, and all this other stuff. I'm like, wait, what? You really sitting down telling these people? You're not telling me directly, but you telling somebody else. So basically, you indirectly telling me that this is what you're trying to do. And basically, I'm pretty much right when I reach out to you. And you know what I'm saying? That wasn't even, like I said, when I reached out to him, it wasn't even on no, oh, you cheating, you doing something. It was on, that part was rare. There's times when, because God would reveal to me uh when he was doing something. Sometimes God would show me after the fact, but oftentimes God would show me when he was actively doing stuff. So it was that or whatever. I wasn't really worried or concerned about that too much. I was just like, I'm just glad God's speaking to me, even though I didn't like what he was doing. But that came out or whatever. And so then it got go to 2017, and that's where his mom, it just showed me how petty people can be and are and stuff like that. But it got to 2017 where I was messaging his so-called, well, his now deceased mom. And then that's when I guess she had told me to reach out to her, and I was, if I need something. Then she tried to renege on it and lie and all that, and I was just like, okay, whatever. But which I've told this story before. But she had told me to message her, and I was messaging her, okay, this is what I need. And like when I need something, I'm trying to make sure it gets done. So maybe that's my problem or whatever. I'm not trusting that it was going to get done, especially with the people that I was dealing with. Because at this point, looking back, it was no reason. They gave me no reason to trust what they said, unless I guess either you stay on them to the point where it's almost seemingly hounding them. But I'ma still just say, nobody, I'm not going to say nobody deserves to be hounded, because at this point I am on that have the day you deserve type mentality. I'm definitely on that. But so she might have deserved to be pushed or pressed like that a little bit or whatever the case may be. I don't know. But so when I was reaching out again, like she extended the invitation and offer for me to reach out. She didn't like it, and she didn't like what I was saying and stuff like that. And this is my thing. Like, you wanted to be involved and stuff like this, so let's get involved. I wasn't even fooling with her by far. Like, I wasn't even, and again, it wasn't no dislike or hate type of thing. Well, it wasn't a dislike thing, but it turned into the dislike thing once I hindsight looked back and seen and paid closer attention to the stuff that she was doing. But I didn't dislike this lady. Like, honestly, I dislike and don't like my daughter's so-called grandma. Period. Not even with that, I still had a love for her and a certain type of almost respect for her. Barely, but it was almost, because just being a female and a mother and that, like, I'd be giving people that benefit of the doubt. But other than that, if I don't like your ways and I don't like stuff about you, then I just don't like you. I don't care who you are. I don't care what title. I don't care if you was the president of the United States. I don't care if you was the president's wife. They call you the first lady. I don't care if you was the pastor's wife. If I don't. And so, but yeah, I didn't dislike her. And it was things that I admired about her. Like the way she kept her physical appearance and stuff like that. She was cute. But she know how to dress up and this, that, that. Had that. It wasn't just a mean streak. She was mean. And her son and her kids call her evil, to be honest. They definitely said she was mean, but one of them said she was evil, and I didn't, I didn't see it. And I feel like I take evil or mean a different type of way, because I'd be feeling like a lot of people are too sensitive. So I don't, what I think is mean sometimes don't be the same thing, but other people consider that. Like, even my own so-called mom was like, oh, that's mean about something, until she wasn't saying that no more when I was involved with this person, and that I was the one up close and personal with, and I knew what was going on with that person. And they started doing this other stuff. She wasn't saying that anymore. But anyway, that's besides the point. Um, but yeah, his mama, when I reached out to her, and then she pressed charges and stuff like that, took it to the courts, took it to the judicial system. And again, I always say, but you didn't hold yourself accountable when you was holding my son. You didn't say that you committed a high treason type crime when you held my son and did what you did. said what you said, and you know what I'm saying, she didn't really do much, thank God, but she said what she said. That let me know that you would have tried to. And then if and when my son was over there with her any other time, I don't know what the heck type of seances and rituals and stuff you might have tried to do. So you didn't hold yourself accountable first. So why you trying to hold me accountable? And that was just crazy. Or why you trying to put something? It could be seeming like accountability, but trying to put something on me or project something on me, and it's like, and that I'm not receiving, and that's not me. And I think I even told her, it's like, oh, I send y'all bullshit back. And then it gets to the point where it sounds like I'm disrespectful and I'm disrespecting to somebody's parent. No, I send y'all bullshit back to where it came from. Like, because you allowed and sent for you somehow encourage your daughter and your son to come for me in some type of, not comfort, but come for me in some type of ill manner. And so she pressed charges, and again, it just showed petty. I'm like, wait, what? You started this. You initiated all type of stuff. You bothered with me. You tampered with me. And you tried to tamper with definitely my oldest son, but my youngest son even as well. And you think, and you know, you bothered me in a horrendous way via your own son. And you think that you didn't do nothing, or whatever the case may be. You think that you're supposed to, the first sign that I even say something to you, you're going to press charges. And like I said, she died. I'm like, I just don't, I get satisfaction slightly out of saying it, but it ain't even about the satisfaction. It's just the fact that it's the truth of the matter. That's what happened. She died a year later after investing all her energy, or some of her energy, or however much she put in that. And I'm like, girl, I wouldn't have. That's not how you should want to spend your last days, doing stuff like that. Then I guess tried to send a box of stuff for my kids and stuff and all that. That's not the type of stuff that don't change nothing. He's like, oh, that box been sitting there for like 3 months, and well, that's on her feeling some type of way. And I wanted to say, don't send shit to my house, because I was still feeling the type of way the 3 months later that it came, or anyway. But like, girl, don't send nothing to my house. And then, yeah, and of course I had to end up getting rid of it, because stuff is done in vain, or it's done with some ill intentions. It's done to still try to cover up. And that's one thing with God. He helps me to uncover stuff. And I don't even be wanting to. I don't be feeling like I signed up for that, but that's just what he be having me doing. So to God be all the glory for that, and I'm thankful. So yeah, I was just almost triggered again. Like I'm telling you, like bobbing in my head. That stuff does really cause that post-traumatic stress, and it probably is so many people walking around here with post-traumatic stress from something that happened in their childhood, of course, if they went to the military, but just things and some stuff that didn't happen in their adulthood. It's after the fact, but you know, it's causing that. And it's like, man, that shit ain't right to keep on making that type of cycle for people, creating that. Then I ain't trying to be funny when I say this, but you go off and die, and you supposed to be, like they say, resting in peace. I don't declare or speak that you resting in peace, and definitely not in power. But yeah, resting in something. Meanwhile, we got to still be here to deal with and heal from the stuff that you did. Because till this day, I ain't gonna front. That stuff is not necessarily showing up and manifesting in a physical type of way, but that stuff emotionally, mentally, and it probably tries it spiritually, but you know, that's all. That would be him conjuring something, or trying to stir up, or still have his mom living on, and this and the third. Granted, that's good that that's the mom that raised you to adulthood in some type of form or fashion, but she was damaging you in the process as well, and making sure that you pretty much was no good for other people. And of course, it's selfish and all that. I'm mainly talking about the stuff that she did deliberately. I'm not talking about the stuff that, oh, because you're left behind as a single mom, you don't have a choice. Because I give myself that grace. Like, it's certain stuff that's left behind that, dang, I don't know how to fix this. I can't begin to know how to fix this. For one, this didn't happen until after the kids got here, until after he started coming over here and this and the third. Because before, it wasn't all this. And really, that's how you want people to lead. That's how you want people to live, and then end up going up out of here like that? Nah. Sent right on back to the sender. But I mean, the fact that I was bobbing my head and like literally about to argue within my head not with myself, but I was playing out their end and playing out mine. Because she had, like I said, she sent her daughter and her son. Of course, it was in the form of her son. Okay, I dealt with the son. But you sent your daughter too. Nasty comments in my inbox and this, that, and the third and saying stuff. I called her phone one day and I'm trying to talk to her daughter in the background. All she kept saying was, get out my room. Get out my room. You didn't enforce as a mother for your daughter to get no, because you wanted her to stand there and just, and we was on the phone. So I can't imagine if I was in person. You're the type that'll basically let my daughter go ahead and handle my work. I mean, it seemed like she was saying she didn't want her to, but she didn't enforce it. Because you're a grown woman, and you say get out of my room, your kids keep popping off, keep talking, keep running off at the mouth. That's a problem. Mine not about to do that, and that's just on period. Like, they just not. I mean, and my daughter being her, with her being somewhere else, she definitely will probably try it or something like that. But mine, when I'm right there, my presence is there. My presence means something, and my voice means something. They gonna walk up out that room. If I tell them, no, y'all go ahead and do this. Y'all keep that door closed for this. Y'all do. They trust and they're listening to me. That either I got it and this, that, and the third. Now, it's one thing if they sense, oh, mama need help with this. That's different. But I don't know. It was just crazy, and so that's where the disrespect came from. And it was just trying to deem me as disrespectful, and it was like, no, and this is y'all. You can't be disrespecting somebody else first, and they ain't disrespecting you. They ain't doing none of that. And then you turn around and, oh, they disrespectful, they this, they that, and the third, because they even saying something to me. And my own so-called mom has that type of mentality as well. Like I shouldn't and I can't say anything to her at all. Granted, to me, her voice and you know what she says and speaks, it definitely meant something back in the day. As far as over time, it might diminish because of how you treating me, how I grow up, and I see how you're treating me, and it's like, oh, we get to do that. Oh, okay. And I'm not even gonna do that to you. I'm gonna try my hardest to not resort to that. I'd rather leave your presence than to, do all that. But yeah, I was going back and forth with that because her daughter was still popping off, talking in the back. And I was like, I think I told her, well, call me when you get a chance or something like that, because I'm trying to talk. I'm trying to speak to you in an adult manner, in a respectful manner. And I am going to let you know, please don't send your kids and your stuff. Don't, basically, like, they're your guns and you're using them to shoot and pop off. Don't send them for me. And I eventually just ended up telling her, girl, your bullshit finna comes right back to your house. And that's when I will talk to you like I'm your age, or you'll feel like, oh, she thinks she's my age, and and I'm not gonna give it. I'm not gonna care, because I feel like I tried to tread lightly previously, and you know what I'm saying. I'm not walking on eggshells around nobody and kissing nobody's tail, none of that stuff. I just don't feel like we have to do that. We don't need to do that. None of that. Sometimes I might, every now, it ain't even no every now and then. If I feel the need that I need to revert to my being not immature minded, but more childlike, where my childlike charm should win me over or something like that. That is very rare, but it's somewhat there. But it coming out of me, it probably looked like, oh, yeah, she just really trying to get over because she was talking that big before. And I don't talk big I'm a heavyweight, and so I'm going to speak up. And so it's going to, and it be right and it be righteous. So it's going to feel like, dang, we know, we know good and well she right about this, but we ain't about to make her feel like they going to go the hardest to make sure that you don't feel right. So anyway, again, I had also, like, what you call it, tag, but because of social media lingo, but really I had like group messaged her. I was texting her son while I was saying whatever I was saying to her, so he can decide and deem whether or not it was disrespectful. Mind you, he had sat down with me when I talked to my previously known parents, my mom and my so-called dad together, and he was like, oh, I like the way you talk to your parents and this, that, and third. This guy was telling them that I was pregnant with my second son, who just recently turned 7. And yeah, I mean, you should be able to sit down. I was in my own household. I was under my own roof, and I was just letting them know, hey, this is what's going to happen. And I didn't think it was a big thing. It was natural to me. Like, let me just talk to them and tell them. And then I was grown. Of course, I was grown by age, by society age, 21 plus. At this time, I was like 20, 28, something like that. I don't know. However old it takes to get to 30, almost 36 from 7 years. So, yeah, I was somewhere around there. So, of course, I wasn't feeling no type of fear or anything. And I was with this man. I felt like he was a man sometimes, but male, grown by age. And, I just wanted to have that experience of telling them together. And he like almost commended me. I like the way that you talk to your parents and this and third. And then I went in, I think I did go in to like kiss him and stuff like that. And he was still like resisting and rejecting. Oh, I like what you did with them, but I guess looking back, it's like telling me, but that ain't it for me. So I didn't know, I didn't pick up on it like that at the time. I picked up something, but I didn't pick up on it at the time or whatever. But I'm picking it up now. Like, hey, okay, it is what it is. You ain't got to with it. You know what I'm saying? I thought I was doing something, and not really trying to impress him, but just that again. That's what came natural. I would sit there and talk to mine. Now it does feel good when you have somebody else there by your side. But I'll sit there and talk to my so-called parents like that anyway. I would have talked to both of them like that. Like, oh, I'm pregnant with this child and this, that, and the third. But it definitely feels better when you got the person that you're pregnant by sitting right there with you. But yeah, so, and again, I can initially say that physically I reached out to him first. In a sense, I did something to like get him to notice me, should I say. So that's manipulative. I'm not gonna deny it or anything like that. But I had, like I said before, somebody spoke about him for me to even know he existed. And it was like my hearing. I just heard, okay, okay. I guess I'm curious. I want to know what that's about. And I probably had heard his name before. I don't know. But anyway, so that was in 2003, before the 2009 that I reached out to him. Well, I indirectly reached out to him or whatever, got his attention, should I say. Let me call it like it is. And then started being around him and stuff. And then he wanted to, he did what he did. He behaved like he behaved, pushed up on me and stuff like that. I never pushed up on him like that. And so then if you want to say that, you pushed up on me. But then when you get to push back, when I'm I guess in a sense like forcing myself on you as far as reaching out all the time and want to talk to you and wanting to remain the close to you that I done already gotten, plus the 2 kids and this, that, and the third, it's a problem. See, that's why I just don't get it. Like, how is it fair for somebody else to do that to you? Do you turn around and you not trying? I'm not trying to get on his nerves, but you basically getting on your nerves with who you are. It's like, oh, she need to like who I am, but I ain't gotta like nothing about who she is and this, that, and the third. And basically I don't want her. At least saying that with his mouth, like I said, because oftentimes, honey, it was people coming back. It wasn't even people coming back. It was one specific person that was just like, this, that, and the third, making their comments and really getting bold with it. Like, oh, this, that, and the third. My brother don't want you. This, that. Okay, I'm telling who it is when I say that. But anyway, and I just felt like, okay, well, he can tell me that. He can sit down and tell me that. Every time he come over here, he doing more than wanting me. He trying to possess and control me. And that could very well mean he don't want you. He just wants something that's within you. And again, I had to pick that up and catch on to that or whatever. And if even till this day, that's what it was. And it probably was, possibly was, strong possibility. But let me and him sort that out. I didn't ask you to come and do this. I didn't directly ask you. Or if I did in the first place, then honey, I'm telling you to go on about your business. But I don't know. I'm still figuring out how it all works and how this stuff's supposed to play out. It is really sometimes easier looking at somebody else's situation and then harder looking at your own because you be the inside person. But I know that one thing. She pressed them charges, honey. And I was just like, for real? And that's how you feel, like, girl. Like, for real, you really gonna be this big bullying type, mean type person and even utilize your kids to try to do it. But then when it shows, when you feel the heat is on, she didn't really like back down. But so I can't say she wasn't really about that life, but you trying to get somebody else basically in the line of fire. And so that was that or whatever. And then of course she ended up dying the following year and didn't have to deal with that. And I remember having some dream about this person that I really liked, and I guess whether it was infatuation or I genuinely liked oh, what's his name, when I was dealing with him. I don't anymore, but yeah. So I don't know if the dream just indicating a person that I once genuinely liked. And he was saying it was something that you said, basically like it hurt his feelings what I said. But let me tell you, if it's symbolic of him, maybe he feel like he could say and do whatever. And him personally, he had the comedian type personality. So some stuff I just felt like, okay, we need to just try to laugh at it. But he felt like even sometimes just under the guise of that, you feel like you could say whatever you want to people and about people. And then not even just say, baby, he'll try it with the do some stuff, the torturing type of stuff and just a little mean type of stuff, mean hearted type of stuff. And you think that nobody ain't supposed to do nothing about it and hold you accountable? Even when he kicked my door in, he was like, oh, you really love me because the whole cop issue and this, that, and the third, what I had told the cops. And I'm like, you really think that you supposed to just get away? And like I said, I didn't pick it up until later that he really thought he was supposed to just get away. Nobody was, because he was trying to tell me this is what you need to tell him and this, that, and the third. He didn't want to get in trouble. Then when he doused me in the lighter fluid stuff, he didn't want to get in trouble. He took my phone, threw it over the fence, and okay, I gotta get ready to get on my call. He took my phone, threw it over the fence, the next door neighbor's fence, make sure I couldn't call the cops or anybody, and he and honey, tell him if I would have tried to run down the street like that and get help or anything. But he told me he was like, go in there and he convinced me to go in there and take a shower. He came in there and gave me a kiss while I was in the shower. So that's basically like him trying to, it's sinister if you look at it. Like if it was a movie, you'll look at it like, damn. Cause that's how I look at it. But sometimes it's like, damn, I can't be mad at it. Who know what he doing, who know how to make them quick maneuvering moves. But yeah, he doused me in a lighter fluid, and then he was like, go get in the shower. He took my phone, threw it over the fence. Then he bitched and complained like, yeah, I hurt my leg jumping over the fence to get your phone. But bitch, you threw it over there after you doused me in a lighter fluid. This is how I'm feeling right now. But yeah, you threw it over there after you doused me in lighter fluid. And then because you wanted to cover up and don't want me to call the cops, you took my phone, you threw it over there. And then, yeah, you hurt yourself getting over there. That's your dumb ass. That was immediately telling you shouldn't have did that in the first place. But don't worry, it ain't over. Then you tell me to go take a shower so I could wash the evidence off so you don't get in trouble. Yeah, I mean, he doused me real bad. Eyes was covered, everything. But that's all. I already talked about that, but I'm just saying. I'm going to leave off with that. I'm about to get on this call.